So hi guys, welcome to another Project Win video. But it's very different today, nothing course related, nothing playing related. However, I do need Si's help to test, well, one of the family.
Yes, Adam's 3-wood, the SONARTEC, has been, it's been there as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
It's been there pretty much throughout your whole professional journey. How long do you think we've had this SONARTEC in the bag?
I think it's been in the bag at least 10 years, at least. But I can't actually remember a time, I couldn't tell you what was in there before it.
No.
I couldn't even tell you what it replaced.
No, it's been there, we've tried to beat it. 2021 is today the day that we beat it.
Yeah, probably. So this is my thing, like, does something beat this? Do I need it to beat this? Is it gonna like actually fit the bag any better? Don't know. But
is there anyone way to find out?
There is definitely one person down there, so Matthew West, this video is for you. Let's go.
Right, so here we go. We're going to hit a few shots with the SONARTEC. We're going to get some data, get some numbers, have a little look-see, and then I've got some new beauties to see if we can see any improvement. Is there an improvement? Is it going to be marked? Is it going to make a difference? Is he still going to go back to it? We'll find out.
We shall find out, right.
So talk us through the 3-wood. Why is it that you love it so much?
I think it's because it's been there so long.
Yeah.
It's had many a sort of respray. And
yeah, it's been refurbed a few times.
But it's one of those things, because it hasn't changed much, I've got so many good memories with it. Yes, obviously I've hit horrendous shots with it as well, and I think there's a mystique about it.
Yeah.
I don't know the flex of the shaft. I have no idea.
No.
It's 14 degrees. It's got like a driving cavity. It's SONARTEC. So it's not a name that anybody's really heard of too much. As soon as I say what it is, everybody's like, well, what's that?
Because in PGA events you have to put your clubs down, don't you?
So yeah, like if you went to open qualifying and stuff like that, there's always like a drop down box and it always goes under other. And then I have to write it in.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to get you 3 or 4 shots just to see where this is at. It does make the most amazing noise. I'm a big believer in a nice good clonk, a nice good hit. I want to know that the ball has been hit.
Yeah.
And this club definitely gives you that.
And I would say off the tee, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But because it's quite deep, at times, if I'm not swinging it very well, off the floor, it's not the most appealing club to look at, but then I know that I love it anyway. So
yeah, exactly. So
it's one of those.
It gets forgiven.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're deliberately doing this inside. We're doing it with real balls so that we can actually get some proper numbers on this.
Pro V1s that I would use in standard play. The only thing I struggle with indoors is obviously where I'm aiming. So it's one of those that they're probably. But I'm really looking at launch, spin, carry distance, like.
Yeah, and I'm also going to be looking at curvature. So if it starts right and stays right, I'm not too fussed in here because it is very easy to kind of lose exactly where you are pointing.
Yeah.
So.
See, that's gone right.
Yeah. Right, okay, so 4 shots in. Let's have a look at these numbers. Now, you really want to be, this is your off the floor as long as possible club, isn't it? Yeah,
so this is like, the way I describe it to people is just trying to take off a massive chunk of a par 5 or off the tee when actually either driver's not working or maybe I've got a maximal distance that I can't go past, etc.
Exactly. So distance is important, but it's also about being able to launch it off the floor. So looking at your launch angle here, you're launching it at 10 degrees. So that looks good. Like we wouldn't want to go any more than that. The last one went a bit to the right, so that launch angle popped up a bit. Spin rate looks pretty good. That second shot in there at 4.2, it's just a little bit floaty, and hence why it's lost a bit of distance, and you say you see that on a golf course, don't you?
Yeah, so because it's quite, so if I show you to the camera, it's quite deep. So if you do get it off the bottom, it does tend to kick it up, and then if it is wind into, etc., they do tend to stall a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know that obviously if you get it slightly out the top of the face, it's more like a driver. You get it out the top of the face, it just comes out that little bit less spin, and then it gets that lovely fly and does chase on as well.
Yes. So now we're going to look at comparing this to other clubs. And for you guys at home, if you're comparing golf clubs, let's look at carry distance, yes, but let's not get seduced just by distance. We're going to look super closely at backspin number, at launch angle number, and at ball speed numbers. So seeing where the potential might lie in other clubs.
Because I think you can get really drawn into like how far a golf club's going, rather than necessarily like, well, what's that going to do? Why am I trying to hit that shot? Is it spinning enough? Sometimes, well, we know from my fitting at TITLEIST with my irons, actually there was clubs there that went a whole lot further.
Oh yeah, loads.
But I was never ever going to hold a green with some of them. No, so it's not always about distance. So it's all about those other numbers. Get everything collated together. But let's see if modern technology can beat the beast.
Looking like it's going to be difficult, but we'll see. Okay, so first club we're going to be testing is TITLEIST TSI3.
Yes.
Tensai, stiff shaft in there, so pretty similar, I'm guessing, kind of shaft. It is 15. We are guessing. We are guessing. It is 15 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more lofted, and it's got a much shallower and deeper profile to it.
Yeah.
So in theory, we should expect to see this going higher, maybe a little shorter, but it's about that combination of control as well, isn't it? Because if it goes higher and 10 yards less, but straight every time, then we've got decisions to be made.
Yes.
So 4 or 5 shots, and let's just see what comes out.
It's interesting, wasn't it? As soon as you gave it to me, I went, oh, it feels short. And then when we measured it, there's not much in it. Mine's a little bit longer, but it's because the head profile, I think, is so much bigger, and then the graphics are different. It makes it look
closer.
So optically, it makes it look very, very different.
And that's all part of any buying decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you've got to like the look of it. You've got to feel confident with how it looks, as well as how it performs. Okay, so first shot, thoughts?
A little bit low out of the face.
Yeah.
Very different sound.
Yeah.
Very, like, almost quite dull compared to the SONARTEC.
Yes.
But, again, it's that thing of like, have I just got so used to that sound?
You have got very used to it, yes.
That's solid. That was a little bit higher in the face, but it feels really solid.
Okay, here comes the fitter in me. He is now not allowed to look at the numbers, because I know he's going to look straight at those numbers before he gives me any comment.
No, so that one felt better off the face. It was maybe, you can see it, like maybe 2 lines higher in the face. So automatically you get that feeling of it being a little bit of a nicer shot.
So 4 shots in, how's the sound element? It's
a little bit dull, but
what you like?
Yeah, but like, as I say, do I like it or have I got used to it? That's
the thing.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Okay.
It feels very solid though.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel like it's coming off very quick, is the only way I describe it. Because it's that little bit duller, I feel it like it's maybe not coming off quite as quick as maybe the SONARTEC is.
Okay, well, we'll find out in a minute. Okay, so now we have ping G425. We've got an EVENFLOW stiff in there. So again, trying to get as close as we can to what we think that Ozic shaft is.
Yeah.
You've got a bit more loft on this one.
Yeah.
And also it's a much lower...
we've got 16.
You've got 16, yeah. So you've got much lower and flatter profile in there, which is going to help launch the ball up in the air, plus an extra bit of loft on there. So we'll be interested to see where this one sits.
Feels a lot lighter.
Feels lighter, yeah, cool. First impressions of ping.
That feels like it's quick.
Okay.
That feels like it's fast off the face.
Yeah, so more of sound that you're used to.
Yeah, more of that sort of like a driver sound. It's sort of like that crack, that really sort of
I've hit
almost
this.
titanium sound.
Yeah, really metal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, very metallic sound. Yep, good. Thoughts on the looks and everything now you've hit a
It's a
couple?
very big club head.
Yeah.
And it looks like it sits very flat to the ground. So
Yeah.
I think like,
Quite inspiring to get.
yeah, I think especially like par 5 in 2, that whole sit it down on the deck would be a lot better. Pegging it down, I'd have to peg it almost like an iron, I would have said.
But yeah, again, one of those things that's not too difficult to get used to.
No, it's just an
if
easy
you decide
adjustment,
to.
that one.
Okay, there we go. 4 shots with those other 2 clubs. Now, let's have a look at the data.
Okay, so we just switched this on and we were stood the wrong way round and I got a bit freaked out, so I had to turn it round.
We had to swap around. Right, now you don't know.
I literally, like, there's been a bit of paper over there, you've not let me see it, so.
Okay, so your own SONARTEC,
Yeah.
carrying 244,
Okay.
spinning on average 3.6.
Yeah.
We had one that jumped up at 4,200.
Yeah.
And the rest of them were around the kind of mid to low 3,000s.
Okay.
You had an average ball speed of 154.6, so 155
Yeah.
essentially, and a launch angle of 9.8. So that's our kind of baseline.
Yeah.
So anything that beats that
Yeah.
has potential. Bearing in mind we've done no shaft fitting and no loft fitting at this point. We've just had the 2 other clubs set on stand.
Yes. Stop.
With a guess shaft, essentially.
Yeah.
Educated guess, of course. You topped out at 155.9 ball speed on yours and 252 carry. Now, the Tensai was definitely quicker off the face.
So that's the Titleist.
The Titleist, sorry, the TSI 3. So the TSI 3 was definitely quicker off the club face at 157.9.
Okay.
So 3 miles an hour quicker, essentially.
Yeah. And it felt to me like it was slower.
Yes,
Which is,
but that goes down to sound.
Yeah,
So that's totally related to sound. Some people like that duller sound and think it sounds better and faster. Launched at 10.2, so pretty similar launch angle. Spun at 4,000 on average, so much more spin, which is interesting because TSI 3, quite a compact head.
Yeah.
You'd think that essentially that should spin a bit less. But average 246 carry, so very similar to what yours was, topping out at 251.
Okay. So
similar
less,
to yours.
less ball speed, but
More ball speed, more spin.
Yeah.
Same distance.
Same distance. So
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Just shows how the combination of things happen. So then we went to ping G45, which you like the sound of.
yes.
Now, it was 16 degrees. They do make the stretch head, which goes down, I believe, 13.5 and can be cranked down.
Okay.
And the standard is 14.5. The one we've got today is 16. That was 152.7 ball speed. So less. A lot less.
Less than
so again,
both.
2 miles an hour less. And the best one was 153. So you were looking at 6 miles an hour difference in top end ball speed between ping and TSI 3. However, the spin was lower.
Yeah.
2,786
Wow.
average. Now that was pulled down by one that came out at 1955.
Okay.
So that's crazy low spin.
Yeah, that
for
is a
freeway.
bit nuts. Yeah.
And that averaged 256 carry,
Okay. So
but still went high. So
that's it.
peak height on all of your shots.
Yeah.
36 yards average ping, TSI 3 35, your own 32.
Okay. So that's what I would see on the course. Like the SONARTEC does come out pretty flat.
Yes.
Um,
And it's whether it's what you want to see from a 3-wood. You know, is it that pitching and running shot, or is it that guaranteed yards in the air? I don't. You know, there's a total difference. You know, this is going to come down. So the descent angle for yours is 41 degrees.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to stop quicker than your SONARTEC, which is again only 40. So it's not a huge difference.
yeah.
But there was one ping one in there at 35, which really drags that average down.
Yeah.
But you had 2 of them carry over 260, so it is a bit of a gun. So I want to delve more into that ping,
Yeah.
just to see if we can tweak it. So this would be the next stage of a fitting. I would say the TSI 3 doesn't do anything more for you than yours, but the ping has the potential. If we can get that ball speed up,
Yeah.
with
The launch and the height.
launch and the height is absolutely fine. So
Yeah.
next stage, let's do it. Okay, so we've taken 1.5 degrees of loft off this head, but we've kept the same shaft. Try not to change too many more variables at once. Now, when you set the ball down, or set the club down, do you notice any differences? Does it feel any different?
Yeah, like I said to you at the start, like with 16 degrees, it looked like it was a little bit toe in to me, which I don't always like the feeling of it that it's going to go left. I'd much prefer to see that one going to the right with my miss. Now that sits a lot squarer to me.
Yeah, good. And again, we've had this discussion in the past, hence why we've struggled with hybrids for you in the past, because they always look like they're going to go left. So whenever you take loft off a golf club, you're always going to make that loft point further to the right. So you've got to be aware of that whenever you're changing your clubs when you're tinkering around. So same thing, let's go 4 shots, blind, you can't see what the numbers are. Sound?
Boom.
Yeah.
That has just rocketed off of there.
You like the sound, don't you? Cool, that's interesting. So that, taking 1.5 degrees of loft off the club face, ball speed has jumped up a little, not much, jumped up by about 1 mile an hour. And the carry distance has gone down. It's still longer than yours by 4 yards. It's averaging 248. It doesn't look like it has those big anomalies in there.
Okay, so it jumped quite a lot.
The spin rate is much more level, but the launch angle has definitely gone down a lot. So I'm going to adjust that again. We're going to just put it on the littler minus of the 2. Okay, so we changed the minus setting so it's not quite so de-lofted. Let's see if this makes a difference.
That one felt good.
Yeah.
That felt like I hit it with a shaft. That's the thing with 3-wood, because it's going to be like...
There's so much stuff going on, isn't there?
But it's quite a maximal shot, isn't it? You're looking at long chunks of distance, and the swing speed's sort of like... Well, when we give lessons and stuff, isn't it? It's like people miss hit 3, it's like, it's your second longest club, and you're trying to hit it off of the floor. Exactly. It's really difficult.
Yeah. Okay, so 4 shots with that club. Thoughts?
It feels like it launches better, even just with that small adjustment. Like the head doesn't really change much, but it does feel like those ones have got up in the air a little bit better. But
and
so what might feel.
Exactly. So what we're seeing, I've taken out the one that you completely mishit it. Which
that was very diplomatic. Thank you very much.
Feels that one launched at 7, but 11.5 average on that. So that is pretty much another just over half a degree launch on it, which is the change in the club. And obviously you're a good player, so you're going to be able to see those minute changes. Again, got to 250 carry average.
Okay.
So we are up and around yours again, nothing quite as crazy as those first few ones. Which is interesting with the launch. You know, obviously there's a discussion to be had there about, you know, whether you would want that extra distance and higher golf shots. Yeah,
it's like, it's that sneaky one though, isn't it? It's like that 1.9 is a bit like when we went for the fitting for the TITLEIST clubs, isn't it? It's like that TMB that I wanted at the top was just crazy. Like, it hit one out of like any form of like wet grass, and it was going to come out.
Yeah,
so
and I think
crazy. I think that has the potential
to do that. The only thing against that is that obviously that is a 3-wood. So we're not talking about an iron that's fitting somewhere in the bag. This is just that one that goes another 10-20 yards further, which gets you a bit further down when you've teed off with it, or, you know, it's interesting, you know, there's no right or wrong. Right, shaft. Are you quite happy with how that shaft feels?
Yeah. Cool.
So I want to test another shaft because it's super important to rule stuff out. So let's put something else in. Okay, so we've put a different shaft in here. We've gone for the, what have we got in there now?
We've got the Rogue in an 80 gram stiff.
Yes. So the last one was 85 grams, I believe.
It was, yeah.
So you're gonna
that's a new grip. That's lovely. And
yes, it is a new one. That's a fresh out of the box, that shaft. So again, put it back to 0 in terms of the loft, so back at the 16 degrees loft, and again, try not to change too many variables at once. Let's just hit 4 with this and see where we go. Yeah, yeah. And so that to you means?
Uncontrollable. It feels like when I put the force in,
yeah.
So when I change direction and I want to go, it feels like it's moving. And I don't like that feeling. It's a bit
That's
disconcerting.
Fine. Yeah. Cool. And as we've always said, it's about you. It's about the feelings. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you feel like it's gonna move like that, you're not going to perform as well with it. You're not going to be as confident with it. It may perform really, really well. We'll have a look after you hit this one. But it's as important to hit shafts and hit shots to rule it out.
Yeah, and I think especially with something like a 3-wood, where you feel like it's going to be quite a powerful shot, I don't really want to get that feeling that I actually need to be like really smooth.
Yeah. You want to be able to be aggressive.
Like if I need to hit it harder, I can try.
Yeah. So 251 average carry. I took one out, which was the first one that you hit with that, just because it came out of the neck a little.
Yeah.
Again, similar sort of ideas. It wasn't any more or less offline than the other one, but it's on you as well. So it performs as well, but it's on you to make those decisions. And if that feels like it's got too much kick in it,
it just feels like on the way, like the centre of the shaft, the top of the shaft feels quite rigid. Like from the bottom down, that tip doesn't feel like it's stiff enough.
Yes.
Really.
And a lot of people won't be able to feel that. Whether they can or not is a total personal thing. But if you do feel something as an anomaly, you got to rule it out. It's so important to love the club you got.
And I've never been a massive like shaftoid in terms of I want this in it, I want that in it. The driver shaft that I've had has been around for a little while.
Yeah.
And as I say, we don't know what's in the 3-wood, so like.
But it doesn't feel soft to you.
No, and that's the thing. It feels quite firm, and it feels like it's not moving around, and I think that's probably why it stayed.
And you know where it came from as well. You know the person who had it and how they swing as well.
Yeah, and I know it's been cured, so it's been frequency cured to put into that head as well. So like.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
It's
right.
All
okay. So. This is where again we would kind of wrap up the fitting. Yep. So what I would do is I want you to hit 4 shots with yours.
Yep.
And then you're going to hit 4 shots with what I think is as good a spec as we've got.
Yep.
Again, blind, and then let's just see how they look as a final test.
Go. Okay, so SONARTEC back in hand, 4 shots with the old faithful, and then we're going to go with Sarge's recommendation. That point. So from your perspective, Si, has this gone how you would expected it to go?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the thing for me is that you love that club, and we knew that it's gonna have to take something pretty special to come out of your bag.
Yeah.
All I would say is I think we've potentially found a contender, and you have to then take it out on the golf course, test it, and see how it actually performed. Righty-ho, so my recommendation, and you probably can guess what it is, we're going G425, little minus, with the Project X EVENFLOW shaft 6.0 in there.
85 grams.
85 gram shaft for quite a few reasons, but let's hit these 4 shots and then.
So
little minus takes off 1 degree of loft. Okay, so I like the idea, especially for someone like yourself that doesn't like to see a club looking closed.
Yep.
Go for a slightly more lofted head and take the loft off.
Yes.
It's a good way of ending up with the same dynamic loft, but visually and potentially performance-wise better for you, because you don't mind if you miss it right.
No.
Makes the right noise for you.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah. Well, the next stage for any fitting, exactly, is we take this golf club on the course. If it's something that has the potential to go in the bag, you know, it's very difficult to buy a club just solely on hitting it on a simulator, essentially.
That's
So, you know, obviously here we could open the garage door and we could hit some range balls out and see some ball flights. We wanted to capture it, obviously, as closed data as possible. So we're using the balls that Adam will actually use on the golf course. So one more, and it's crunch time.
So those last two were good swings. I felt like they were better swings from me, and contact was very good on those last two.
All right, let's have a look at these numbers. Okay, so there we go. 4 shots hit with each club and 5 yards more carry.
Yes.
Similar ball speeds, bit more launch angle, bit better descent angle.
Yeah.
Has it earned enough to have an on-course test?
I think it has to. Like at this point, it wasn't really. I wasn't making the video for the fact that like I wanted to change it. No. I just wanted to see what was what and whether anything was going to be drastic. It wasn't as drastic a difference as I thought it was going to be. I thought the older technology and the way I know it flies at times, I thought we were going to see a bigger difference between sort of like that really low spinning one and then the high spinning one, because I see those on the course. But then that's obviously situational based as well, like maybe on certain shots when I'm trying to hit certain shapes and flights with it, then I might see those a bit more.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is there was top end a big difference in this one. I think that also overperforms, hence why it's still in the golf bag. I think that is a particularly rare 3-wood, and you know, to find that golf club and to have that for 10 years, you know, you see it Henrik Stenson's 3-wood, you see it throughout golf. You know, you find a fairway wood that you love, and these good players stick with them. I think the lower profile and the more stretched back look is going to suit you better on the golf course. Yeah, certainly with those second shots. I mean, you discussed about, you know, just the footprint of the two clubs.
Very, very different. So footprint of the ping would overlap that easily, and also so looking at it from that perspective, actually there's not a lot of the club face actually in contact with the floor.
No, you compare that to the ping, there is a lot more, it's a lot flatter across the bottom.
So
going to give you more chance in some dodgy lies and with some more dodgy strikes across the face, potentially some more forgiveness.
Yeah, so it's worth a test out on the golf course. That will be another video. So I thanks for your time.
No worries, it was good fun as always.
It was always it's always good to just test different things, isn't it?
Definitely.
So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Those guys that are patrons of ours, we both and Ryan really appreciate you guys so much. So thanks for making the channel even better. We'll see you down here on Project Win very soon. Look out for Sai and Ryan's content. Hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, hit that button, give us a thumbs up, give us a like, give us a few comments, and we'll see you again in the next one.
Bye bye.